We have a great comedian with us tonight. She's actually going to do a stand-up set for us. Please, everybody, welcome Susan Ware.
Hello, welcome, Susan.
Hey, let's go ahead and spotlight Susan's. Spotlight
Okay.
Susan.
Okay.
Yeah, here you
There we
are.
go.
Go
I am
for it.
so depressed after that conversation. I just want to put a knife in my throat. Oh my God. I don't know if I could do anything funny. Oh my God. Um, okay, I'll try and do my 5 minutes. I'm timing myself, so I've got it. Okay. I was going to pierce my nipples, but I was afraid of the pain, so I got clip-ons. My neighbor has 3 kids. They're all spoiled. She threw them out. We were so poor that we ate dough for breakfast, and then we went out in the sun. I was an overweight teenager. When I got on the scale, it always said, "Come back when you're alone." I'm not saying my uncle's second wife is unattractive, but if you put a bra on her, she bucks. I think my neighbor changed his mind about jumping off the building because halfway down I heard him say, "I changed my mind."
Jeez.
I can't give birth. I don't have it in me. My cousin's cross-eyed. She keeps walking into herself.
Oh man.
I said, "Do yourself a favor and get rid of your nose." I thought I met Mr. Right, so I brought him home. Turns out he doesn't go with my furniture. My neighbors hate each other so much. When he had a heart attack, she wrote to 911. I'm the worst kind of Catholic. I'm an atheist. I went on a dating site for people my age. All the men were dead. All right, hold on. Do my time here. I had my first limousine ride. I asked the driver to go faster. He said he couldn't because we were behind the hearse. I told my therapist I was really depressed. He said sometimes life isn't for everyone. I hope the last thing I say on my deathbed isn't, "Why are you holding that hammer?" A guy came up to me and said 5 little words that women rarely hear: your money or your life. I want to go to Raging Waters, but I'm not mad enough. The best sex I had was when I was in my 20s. I remember one night I had faked 3 orgasms. I know. It's hard. I watched the game show The Period. The Period. I watched the game show The Pyramid. They had a guy on from Egypt. He won. Duh. Well, that's I only have 47 seconds left, so that's it. That's all Bye.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Very good. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Very nice.
Woo!
So to say again, you period or pyramid?
Well, I said period, but it should have been pyramid. The game show The Pyramid. You ever see that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I used the $20,000 pyramid with what Dick Clark used to host. Back
Yeah, that one.
Yes. Good show.
Sergio says he loves you, Susan.
Oh, I love him. He looks handsome too. Too bad I'm so old. I can make him some vegetable soup or something.
Oh man! So after hearing some of your beautiful dark one-liners, which I love those, by the way.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like I can't tell some of those; they won't believe it yet. I'll give myself a little while, but what brought you into comedy, Susan? What made you want to go and do these jokes in front of people?
I have always wanted to be a comedian since I was like a sense of humor, but I was afraid. Fear got to me, and I couldn't do it. I was just too afraid. I couldn't get up in front of people. I didn't even go to family reunions. That's how frightened I was.
I have a different reason for that.
But when I got older, I kept thinking, that one regret I had is that I didn't have the nerve enough, the courage enough to get up in front of people. So I decided I would do it. I decided I would start by taking a comedy class because I didn't know how else to do it. And I actually I thought, well, I'll go to the Ice House. I'll look that up, see if they have any comedy courses. And Bobby Oliver was teaching her class at the Ice House.
Yes.
So I started going to her, and then I got into it. And the first night, she always has after 8 weeks of a course, she always has you perform. So it was at the Ice House, and it was my turn. I was waiting for my turn, and I went completely blank. I couldn't think of anything. And I said to another comic, I said, I have to tell Bobby I can't perform tonight. I can't think of anything. So she just told me to breathe really easy, just take my time. And they called my name, and I went up there, and as I was walking up, I remembered my first line, and then I went through the whole thing. But it was absolutely it takes a lot of courage to go in front of people, I think, because your ego's involved, the people are going to laugh, and but I've been through it. I've been doing, this is I think my 8th or 9th year. So I just love it. I don't do a lot of stuff. I don't travel or anything, but I just love doing it. It's something that now I don't have any regrets. It's something I'm glad I did.
And as a one-liner comedian that has done some dark material, has anyone ever been bothered by one of your jokes? Anybody confronted you about any of those? Or?
Well, I had one joke I said at the Comedy Store, and I've never said it since. It was that one time, and there was a little trickle of laughs, but I felt so guilty saying it. But the joke was something like, do you think the last Roman soldier who finished putting Jesus on the cross turned back to everyone and said, "Nailed it"? And I thought it was funny, but I didn't get that many laughs, so I thought, oh, maybe this is not right because people have this thing about Jesus. So I have never said, this is the second time.
Maybe.
They have this thing about Jesus. No, that's awesome, Lisa. It's interesting because I have heard some jokes that go, and then it just depends what room you're in for that one.
Right.
Yeah, there was a meeting room, and I mean, the people that laughed really laughed, but it wasn't like the whole place. It was more silent, just more silent. So I just felt so bad. I thought, well, maybe that's too dark. So I never said.
Well,
I think it's a great.
We don't want to hear those kind of jokes now. Go back to reminding us of our mortality. Which I love those jokes when you do those. They're so great. What comedians actually inspire you? Which ones do you?
Well, you probably wouldn't remember them because you're too young, but I used to hear Sid Caesar and Imogene Coca and Martha Ray, and I started seeing all these older comics on TV when TV was still black and white, and that just it didn't make me feel like a comedian, but I always admired them, and they always made me laugh, and I couldn't wait when they were going to come on. But later on, when I started wishing I would have enough nerve to do comedy, then it was Phyllis Diller, it was Joan Rivers, it was Rodney Dangerfield, it was. Uh, it was. I mean, I like Stephen Wright and I like Mitch Hedberg, but I never. They didn't inspire me to do anything. It was when I was younger that I got the inspiration.
Yeah, Stephen Wright and Mitch Hedberg are actually the guys that inspire me to get into it and do some one-liners type of stuff.
Oh, really?
Although I have
Wow.
found that a lot of people are asking you, well, instead of doing that, can you talk about yourself? And I'm like, that one's harder for me to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
So how's your experience differed between being on stage more often, and then now we're in this COVID-19 environment where almost everything is Zoom? How's that changing things for you?
Oh, I'd much rather, and I think everybody who does comedy, meaning you people there, also would prefer doing it in front of an audience. You love to have that. There's an energy in the room. There's uh, just a kind of a feedback with laughter. So you kind of can tell what jokes are working, what isn't working. And you could actually have a joke that kills in the room one night, and then the next night, nobody laughs. So, but there's that energy that I just love being on stage. I would love to be in a really dark kind of cellar, like where you have to walk downstairs. That's my idea of a comedy.
Maybe less
But
smoke
you know
than
what?
there used to
I'm
be.
getting used to Zoom because I think we're gonna, from what everybody says, it goes back and forward from late summer or until even 2022 that we're going to have to be probably wearing masks and stuff. And so who knows how long this is going to last. So, you either perform on Zoom or you don't perform, basically. I mean, there are places that you can perform, but it's Zoom right now. But it's not, I enjoy it, but it's not the same as being in a room with people drinking and,
Well, I mean, you know what?
That's always fun.
I was actually having this conversation. So I would produce shows before the pandemic at various locations throughout Southern California, and actually all the proceeds would go to veteran organizations. There is the American Legion, and they've actually asked me to do an outside show, but now it comes with the burden of, what if somebody gets sick? And I don't want to hold that guilt if somebody happens to get sick. It's not worth it. As much as I love comedy, the fear of getting someone sick, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So it's like, I love this. I really want to perform. I really want to see people perform. But then there's always this, like, if somebody gets sick, it's not something small. The possibility is you could end up in the ICU. We're already broke comedians. Imagine hospital bills on top of it. Like, it's not going to work.
Well, Stacey, the way that you handle that is when it happens, you look confidently at everybody and you say, "Not it."
Oh my lord!
And then you're absolved from all that. Oh,
I did perform at the Federal. They were open on Lancashire in North Hollywood in NoHo. They started to open back up with less people, 6 feet apart and stuff. And I really liked it, but they're closed again. So I guess that didn't work out for them.
The Comedy Store had opened up their patio area. They got shut down by the city. I think numbers were going up, so they ended up closing live entertainment again. I know there are still locations that are having live shows or drive-in shows, but I guess as the numbers spike, that's when you start getting shut down. Again, it goes back to as a comedian, is it worth possibly getting sick just for the thrill of performing live with an audience? I don't know how drive-thrus are yet. I haven't gone to a show yet, but can the comedians even hear your laughter? I have to say, this is a
Well,
challenging time.
they have that little like kind of like clicker thing. It's like those little plastic hands, and you go like that, and you move it.
Well, and some
Is
places
that what
have
they're
taken to
doing?
honking. Some
Yeah.
have actually allowed honking.
And then some have
But that would
honking.
be so distracting. As a comedian on stage, I hear honking. I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm horrible? Does that mean it's funny?
Yeah.
Like, we're adapting and embracing.
Did you hear the punchline over the car horn?
But you guys do know that in the rest of the country, they're handling it very different. Like I just looked up, Susan, this would be my question. In other parts of the country, they're handling it different. There is a rise in cases, yes. But I just I've talked on here about my favorite comedian, Ali Sadiq. He has a full list of dates, and I'm not talking about 3 or 4 dates. I'm talking about 7 or 8 dates. He's going to Tacoma, Washington, to Nashville, to like
So
a lot
did
of
DL
dates.
Hughley, and he got sick.
Say that
In
again.
reality, so did DL Hughley, and he got sick.
Okay, I can't hear you. Ali hasn't been sick. All I'm saying
he
is
hasn't- he didn't
No,
get
Hughley's
I'm
been
using
sick.
him as an example. He was touring during COVID, and he got sick.
Okay, you're breaking up. I still can't. I know DL got sick, but all I'm saying is everybody is not getting sick that tours, and everybody is doing their thing.
Yeah.
But DL Hughley did get sick. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I would do with faced with the choice. But I was just saying to Susan,
It's a risk.
not.
Yeah.
It's a risk. I think in California we're framing the conversation based on what's happening here. I'm just saying that in other parts of the country they're doing something very, very different than what we're doing here. Like, so I'm just saying I think, Susan, would you travel? Like you were saying that you haven't necessarily been a road comic, but would you travel if given the opportunity at this time? Like, to somewhere where they're taking the precautions?
If I knew that everything was, I'd have to really know that they were doing everything properly, and I'd have to know in that particular area if it spiked or it hasn't spiked, it's going down. I know that Hanoi is doing live shows, so if you want to go to Vietnam, there's your way to go. I wouldn't mind going. I wouldn't, not to Hanoi, but I would do a live show if everything was like a plexiglass in front of me. I would do that. It was on the stage and puts me away from the other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Jimmy
And
Shin
everybody would wear masks.
Jimmy Shin is doing shows in Las Feliz, and he's like, they're doing it in this kind of lovely park thing where I think they can only sell either 25 or exactly 50 tickets. Very precise. So everybody is the 6 feet.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing a mask. Like I have a show. I'm doing my first outdoor show on November 14th, and I went and visited one of their shows. And I'm still like, I'm pretty leaning toward doing it because there were, I had to get my temperature had to be taken when I came in to see the show that I went to. I wore a mask. I will say this in transparency. I wasn't as impressed by how well the audience wore their mask. But that said, like I kept mine on. We kept our 6 feet, me and the person, we went with whatever. So I'm just looking at it like I am.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you 100%. Like, I think all the precautions, I have to feel very strongly and very comfortable about the precautions being in place to do it. And of course, even in the state of California, because it's, the people are working it out, there are some guidelines. And I know in the case of Jimmy Shin, because I just happen to know him, I know he went through, the channels to figure out how, what's available within, the ordinances. So I think it's out there for us. I mean, it's obviously not like just walking up in the Comedy Store or the Improv or any of the Laugh Factories or any of the things that we really, really want. But I think there's a way to confidently move in the direction that we all want to go, which is the stages. It's just going to look different.
We could be over this much quicker if people would wear their masks. These people that don't wear their masks, that feel that for some reason wearing a mask takes their freedom away. I really, I don't get it. If more people would wear the mask, keep the distance, do what the government says, do what they're supposed to say, what the CDC says, we would have less problems and more places. They're the ones that are stopping places from opening because they're the ones that are making everybody because they won't follow rules.
Right.
You like my George Lopez mask?
Chingon. Ah. Ah.
I don't have my mask with me. Here, let me just do this.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Dan. Yeah, that'll
All
work.
right, there we go.
That's his beard mask.
I mean, I am disappointed the way with certain things that California
Ooh, that's
is
a
doing
nice
in
one.
reference to
I like that
outside
one, Dana.
entertainment. But
That's
as
nice.
long as we avoid outside stuff, we should be fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's things they can do, but they just have to be really careful, follow the protocols, follow the rules, be considerate of other people, make it about health and safety and
Right.
not money. I know they got to make money, but I mean, they're just gonna have to put that a little bit to the side. You know, if they allow 25, maybe do 15 or 20, so there's 5 less people that could,
I think
possibly.
outside is safer. Yeah, I mean, the indoor stuff is the one. So when I went to Virginia, there's indoor dining still allowed. You can still eat inside.
Wow.
And I said this before in previous episodes. I know more people who have had COVID in Virginia than here.
Right.
So restrictions are tighter, but honestly, I know a lot less people here who have had COVID compared to Virginia. My family almost died. I've already had this conversation. Like I've already told you guys. But there are other people that I know that have had it directly. I am sad to say that a friend of mine whose father got COVID here in California just passed away last week.
Condolences.
Wow.
It's a sad reality, but I think if we stick outside, we should be fine.
Well, Susan, tell the people where we can see you coming up. Any coming up shows? Any places we could see you on a regular basis?
No, you can't see me on a regular basis. I do open mics though. I do Dat Pants open mic. I do Bobby Oliver's at Dow Comedy. Locked in the Room. So I try and do 2 or 3 open mics during the week. And the only show that I know that I'm doing is going to be November 22nd. That's going to be at Flappers on the Hot Medusa comedy show. That's the only one I'm going to be doing.
And that's thrown by
As I
Sue
know.
Weaver.
Yeah,
Right?
Suwan, Mary,
Oh, yeah.
is
Yes.
Mary Becky, Suwan and Mary, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Awesome.